everyone, welcome to Kelly's Creative Dream Studios, and it is Make It Mail It Monday, and I'm just in a Valentine mood. So I pulled out the remnants of this January 2022 paper pumpkin called Kisses and Hugs, and the cards bases were all together, and I couldn't see it as a card, and the ones that I put together from their examples I didn't care for. So what I did was I sat here today and I cut all of these apart into individual hearts, and I made 3 cards, and then we're going to do one together. You'll see here that I punched out of this one using Stampin' Up's heart punch. This is their scallop, and then there's a solid. And so what I did was I punched the scallop out of this on one of them. On another one, I cut the scallop out of the vellum heart that they had provided in the kit. And then cut this one from the base and come up with cards. Sorry, we just finished eating supper, and one of our favorite dishes is pork steaks in mushroom gravy, slow cooked till the meat falls apart, and now I'm full. So here's one of the cards that I made, and this is going to be another one we're going to duplicate here in a minute. I used a real red card base, and then I just took and glued one of their big hearts on the front and then trimmed it off. And then I used one of these in the center, and from the stamp set I had For You Friend that I put on the front of the card. Now, there's one. That's the one we're going to duplicate. I'm going to move this. And then I did this one. This was another one of the hearts that they provided, and I cut it with the scallop punch. And then I used the solid edge punch to come out of, and I don't know if I've got another one of those left here. Maybe I don't, and I don't want to punch out of it because I want to use it. Oh yeah, I've got 2 of them here. I punched the solid edge punch from this one, put it in the center, and brought it up on dimensionals. This strip here is cut from this first full line on this heart. The idea is just take what you have and see if you can tear it apart and make it something that fits your style. And I wanted to make these really super simple because most people don't keep Valentine cards. So I did this one. And then I did, this was the first one that I did. This is one of the things that was in my Valentine category on my scrap rack. This is from the lined, one of the lined bases. Here, I went this way with it and cut it off the widest part. Now, it would not fit all the way across, so I just let this heart cover this, and then this glittery heart, and it's just foiled, it's not glitter. See if I can get one out of the bag and bring it up close, and it'll be all shiny and stuff. It'll be all shiny and stuff. But here it is. Almost holographic. How pretty is that? So I have a bunch of those in my scrap rack, and I just pulled those out, added one here, glued it flat, but I brought the whole heart base up on dimensionals, and that was card 3. So let's do this card again. And before I start, I've got to cut I need to cut a piece of real red cardstock. And if you are new to card making and don't know how to cut a card base, this is a perfect time to learn. I'm going to use my Stampin' Up! Trimmer because I don't have to pull the arm out. You take an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. Let me come up now that you've seen the cards. Let me pull this up and give us a little bit more dimension here. Here we go. That should be better. Take an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. Now, there are 2 ways to cut it, and I'll show you another one here in a minute, but let's do the card first. Turn it long ways and cut at the 5.5. Okay? Then you take one of those turn it, and you move it to the 4 1/4 mark, and that's where you score, okay? And I'm not going to score that one because I might need it later. Now, I will go ahead and show you an alternate way to do this. And let's do it on one of the other colors they use is Flirty Flamingo. This is if you want your card to go this way or book style, okay? But if you want a tent card, then you're going to cut the long way first at 4 1/4, like this, and then score that. Oops, let me get my blade out of the way here. There we go. And then score that at the 5 1/2. And then when you fold it, a little straighter than I did, but when you fold it, then you have one that will open like this, okay? But we are working with this one today, and let me get my scoring tool here. It's somewhere underneath all this stuff. And I'm going to burnish this down just like that. And then I took this and I just glued it flat to the card. So we'll get out our glue. And I'm going to move this up so you can see I'm just swirling around. Remember, the liquid glue will squish to the edges, so don't go all the way to the edges. And I probably went a little too close on that one. So we'll have glue to clean up off our glass mat here in a minute. And I'm just going to kind of center that on my card base, just like that. Okay, and I'm going to give that a couple minutes to dry before I trim it. So while we're waiting, let's come back with this. And I have For You Friend stamps from the kit mounted on my block. And so I'm just gonna, and you could do these in a different color if you wanted to do this with red. You could do that. And we're just gonna stamp, and remember, you go straight down and straight up, and you'll get you'll get your best stamped impression that way. Now we're gonna give that a wave a minute, and then I'm gonna reach up here and get my dimensionals. Get out my Timmy pick. Flip it over, and I'm just going to put 3 on the back of this. And these are the large dimensionals from Stampin' Up. I love their dimensionals because they're just a little bit thinner than the ones you buy in the craft store. And then we can just center that right there. And then flip it over and take our scissors, wherever my scissors went to on this table. And we're just going to flip it over so we can see the overhang. And just trim that off, just like that. And just like that, you want to make sure on that one on the fold, you don't cut it too close and cut your fold. That would be something I would do. Whoops. Oh, well, I got to clean this office anyway. And there's our Valentine card. And then I will, on the ones that are colored, see if I can get to my liners. Right here behind me. I use, instead of using cardstock because it's more expensive, I use my 30-pound copy paper. For my liner on the inside. And I could put Happy Valentine's Day on this. I can just write a note. Whatever I want to do. Just like that. And then it is lined and ready for a sentiment. Now I can see this one here is still hanging over a little bit. I have no clue what I just threw on the floor. Whatever it was, it stuck to my scissors. There we go. And that one's like that. Yeah. Safety pin. There we go. Okay, so now we have 2 of those. And I will go back and I will add liners to this one. And the pink one. So let's see if we can do something different with this one. Shall we? No, I want to do this one. I do want to go ahead and score this one. So I'm going to move it long side down, score it on the 4 1/4. Let me get my trimmer blade out of the way. Just like that. Let's see how well I scored that. Okay, and then I have an idea. These were also part of the kit. And again, they're very super simple to just line them up. And I'm going to lay my card on my mat here so I can see kind of where my center is going to fall. There, there, and see that one's way off. So let's scoot that one over. Scoot that one over. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a little adhesive on the back, and I'm going to come in about the same width from this side here. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, like this. And I figured that one's about 1/8 of an inch, so let's go ahead and bring this one in. And if I lay it this way, I can line it up and bring this one in about the same amount and about the same level. And then this one, we can come back in with this one, and we can put this one up on dimensionals. And I could have used the smaller dimensionals, but my big one was sitting here, so it's what we'll use. Just like this. I have my little can over here to put my little dot papers in. Now see, with these measured from the outside in, I can see where I need to come in and center this one between the two. And that will help me center those, okay? And then we're going to come in, and I think instead of putting white paper in here, I think we're just going to put this in here. So we'll just... This is one that I had in my scrap rack. It was stamped and didn't get used, so time to use it up. Just like that. And that's how quick a Valentine can go together. Now, if you don't have these, that's fine. You can create your own very easily with a heart stamp and a square piece of paper. I was looking for my ruler here. These are 1.5 inch squares, okay? And I have a white here somewhere that I've been working from. Let's cut us 3 1.5 inch squares. And do 1, 1.5, 1.5. And you know what? Let's change that one. Let's cut these 1 inch square. 1 1/4, 1 1/4. Let's cut these 1 1/4 inch square. And you'll see what I'm going to do here in just a minute. Okay, so I need to trim this one down to 1 1/4. This Stampin' Up! Trimmer, I love the fact that I've got the larger platform, but I hate that it's got a little lock thing here to keep the lid, to keep the bar down. It's not always the easiest to pull up. I want to just get a hold of it and lift it up, and it's not always possible. Let's see. Okay, so now we have those 1 1/4. Now, we could do these with gold foil, but what if you don't have gold foil? Okay, we cut these 1 1/4 inch square, so now we will cut 3 that are 1.5 inch square. Like that. Like that. And like that. Get rid of those. Get rid of these. I'm going to put this away. I'm done with it for the night. Okay, and now we have these. Now, before we do anything with these red squares, let's focus on these. Now, in this stamp set, I have a solid heart. So I'm going to pull that solid heart off. And let's get our stamp block over here. Put those away. I'll have to clean those after bed, but for now, I just want to make sure that I have this. And real red ink. Wrinkles, real red is right on top. Let's get a real red out here. And we're just going to stamp 3 red hearts on these squares. Just like this. Excuse me. Well, they've changed our weather, so I'm hoping you're seeing this on Monday. If not, I will get it uploaded just as soon as I can. It will still be a Mail It Make It Monday, but we'll see if it gets uploaded on Monday. Okay, so now we have our 3 hearts. Maybe not quite as centered as I would have liked. And then I'm just going to run some adhesive on the back of these. Now I cut these 1 1/4 and I cut these 1 1/2. That made these back squares a 1/4 inch wider all the way around than our heart mat. Okay. I'm going to put another strip of the glue on this one. And let's do this one just a little bit different, shall we? Let's do these on the white. Well, I did have a plan, but because I didn't do these this way, we can do these this way. Instead of running them across the middle, we can come in and measure from our top and our left-hand side here. Do this one from our top and our right-hand side, our bottom and our right-hand side, just like this, so that they're just about the same, as close as we can get with eyeballing. And then this one will go right in the center between the two, just like that. And there's another very simple Valentine. Now you can add bling in the top. Another thing you can add is if you have stickles. I was looking to see if I had red handy. I do. Use red stickles. I don't know if this one's going to run or not. Let's see. We can add. I'm not sure I'm going to like the red. This one is going to run, so we're not going to use that one. Let me see if I can get it off. Okay. Give me just a second. I have the perfect bling. Just scoot over here to my scrap rack on the back side of you. Find Valentine, summer, Halloween, Easter. There we go. Valentines. And they're here. Bear with me just a second. I know they're over here because I've been through this multiple times today. There they are. Just have to get down in there. I have bling. These are older ones from Dollar Tree. There is a package of 120 different styles of hearts. I know I should have had them out to play with, but you know, who is ever prepared, right? Okay. So, let's add one from the inside, slightly larger one to the center because we need to cover up our smear, and another one of the little ones because we do things in threes. And there's that. Whoops. There's that. Providing it goes on straight. There we go. And there's our heart bling. And there's another Valentine card, giving you the same effect as these, just a little more solid color. If you had it, you could go through and layer this one on gold. We could have edged them with the gold pen. Lots of different things. Just get out your supplies and play. So for today, we have one we've done homemade, one from a kit. Get some of this other stuff out of the way. And this one. And this one from the kit. This one from the kit. Well, let's see. Oh, what happens to Betsy? Either way, this white's going to be with the white. It doesn't matter. That's how it's going to roll. So, do you make Galentines for your gal pals? Or do you stick a Valentine in your hubby or boyfriend's lunchbox or briefcase? You just never know. Remember, you have to give Valentines to get Valentines. So, take the time to tell somebody you love them in a very special way on this day made for love. Not necessarily for lovers, but for love. Thanks for joining me in the studio today. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and if all goes well, I'll be back tomorrow with a flip through of my January challenge journal. Creative blessings.